brother Malcolm Flex TV, and this is Changing the Black Narrative. There has been many theories about how the drug epidemic invaded the streets of America, in particular the black community. One thing is for sure, drugs were not introduced to the streets by black people. There is no logical argument one can wage that can defeat our position on this. Black people have, however, pushed drugs on other black people. And when you mix in the elements of white supremacy, unemployment, and gang warfare, you have the perfect mixture for disaster in the streets. This has been the reality of the black community ever since the Vietnam War.
The United States ain't doing nothing for us, man. We busted our ass, we went over there to an army to kill, and 99% of us got killed, and we didn't get nothing for it. They give us a piece of paper that says to us, we're a Vietnam veteran, and we can get disability, and we can get this, and we can get a job, and we ain't got nothing. We get our welfare. You understand?
America abandoned her veterans who went overseas to fight in Vietnam. Most soldiers came home already strung out and high on drugs. Drugs such as painkillers, steroids, heroin, marijuana, alcohol, and others were used by soldiers to fight PTSD and to turn these soldiers into numb zombie-like fighters who would fight on behalf of America for absolutely nothing.
The war in Vietnam is over, and the junkies are coming home, angry and scared and strung out. In New York City, there are 300,000 Vietnam-era veterans, and 40,000 of them are addicts. Most of them began using heroin, barbiturates, and amphetamines in Vietnam, and most of them came home with less than honorable drug-related discharges. These GIs are ineligible for veterans' educational, home loan, and employment benefits. They get no long-term VA medical or psychological treatment for their addiction. They're offered only methadone, a numbing drug with which some men can function and others can't.
Unfortunately, black soldiers were also among the thousands of veterans who came home high and strung out. Meanwhile, around the same time, every hood in America was practically plagued with the same dynamic. We know this was the case because the Nation of Islam was known for cleaning up black people and getting them off of drugs. The black Muslims, as we were called by the media, were in the trenches and the hoods of America, cleaning up the drug addicts, organizing black people with the teachings and influence of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. The nation was in the prison system, homeless shelters, youth centers, helping and providing aid to the masses of people. However, something happened. In 1975, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad departed. The Nation of Islam fell. The Vietnam War concluded, and until 1981, the drug swooped in Black America like a hawk, targeting the inner youth in urban cities.
Enterprising dealers went further, developing a form of cocaine that was even cheaper and packed a lot more punch.
This is it. The drug so powerful it will empty the money from your pockets, make you sell the watch off your wrist, the clothes off your back.
Or kill your mother. Yep, that's what we're seeing.
Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., Fred Hampton, Patrice Lumumba, Steve Biko, and other black revolutionaries were assassinated in the 60s and the 70s, so it appeared that there was no way for black people to voice their concerns due to the lack of leadership and the infiltration of the FBI and CIA in black organizations such as the Black Panther Party and the Nation of Islam. With the messenger's departure, destruction of the Nation of Islam, imprisonment and assassinations on black leaders, the environment was ready for drugs to hit the streets harder than ever before. Eventually, this became a reality. Hip-hop came into the existence because the inner city youth in the black community didn't have a voice to speak their concerns. So they decided to speak for themselves in a form of art that eventually would sweep the world with heavy influence.
Playback!
Drummer, music hitting your heart, cause I know you got a soul. Hey, listen if you're missing, y'all. Swinging while I'm singing. Hey, giving what you're getting, knowing what I'm knowing. While the black band's sweating, in the rhythm I'm rolling. Gotta give us what we want. Gotta give us what we need. Hey, our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power. Fight the power. Fight the power. Fight the power! Fight the power! Fight the power! Fight the power!
Hip-hop was used to tell the people about the black story, the story that had been ignored and have not been explained in such a detailed dynamic since the time of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. The youth were in the streets, and through the lens of hip-hop, we could see the reality of an apocalyptic atmosphere that strangled every black home and neighborhood in America at that time. The more drugs came into the hood, the more people died, the louder the voices of the youth became. However, it was indeed the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad that influenced this new consciousness taking place in the absence of any actual leader at that time. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad raised so many students, great students: Malcolm X, Wolfdean Muhammad, Muhammad Ali, Clarence 13X, Khalid Abdul Muhammad, and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. It was Clarence 13X, also known as Father Allah by the 5% Nation, who took the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad via the Supreme Wisdom Lessons given to the Nation of Islam by Master Fard Muhammad, and he began teaching the youth in the inner cities the lost found Muslim lessons of the Supreme Wisdom. These young hip-hop artists in New York in the 70s and 80s began rapping these teachings in their songs. The teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad had heavy influence on artists such as
that we under attack. I never meant to cause drama to my sister and mama, but we make it through better times. And this is white man's world.
You're out of touch with reality. A few of you in a few smoke-filled rooms calling that the mainstream, while the masses of the people, white and black, red, yellow, and brown, poor and vulnerable, are suffering in this nation.
Run through me like trees to branches, cliffs to avalanches. This is the praying mantis, deep like the manga Farrakhan. Biggie.
That nigga, watch the assist. I run the track like the marathon. You niggas softer than silicone. You know what it's like when the feeling gone. I know what it's like when the ceiling gone. I had to sit down with Farrakhan.
The third born, make your wife get on the horn. Call Minister Farrakhan so he can persuade me to squash it. I say no, he started it.
Girl, hand she looking at Breezy, trust me. And the others want Big Sean Don. Got them black goons with me, call me Farrakhan.
Y el mundo nunca ha visto un negro con ganas de enseñar y educar a los jóvenes. I'ma hold them accountable like I'm the Honorable Elijah Muhammad Ali.
Wanna see the death of me? From Hawaii to Hawthorne, I run marathons like Ultrawatan. I'm a true champion like Farrakhan reads his daily Quran. It's a enemy, R.I.P. Where you gonna run when God wanna do ya? J. Edgar Hoover, I wish I would've knew ya. With the boom, ping, ping is wings from the fire. Me not afraid, cause me know Elijah. Going to the east, but straight from the west side. Swing down sweet chariot and let me ride through the fire. That will please us. I know that Farrakhan is your baby Jesus. Devil.
The devil, the haters, the bloggers, the papers, the labels, they label me. But they can't relate to our struggle, my nigga, we came up from slavery. Apologies go out to all of my fans cause they waited so patiently. This one is for all of the lost and forgotten black angels that pray for me. A million niggas love me cause I'm ill. The greatest story ever told, niggas in the field. From Solomon to Sambo to Django, it's fact. I'm the Farrakhan of rap and I get it from the wheel. The son of WD, who hung around in the deep, who ran around in the street. The trap gods raised me, face all on the Sphinx.
Out of the mercy of Allah and the law written in our nature, we call an individual into existence. And when that individual comes, I make no apologies for what I'm about to say.
I'm America's worst nightmare. I'm young, black, and holding my nuts like cheer. Showers in the pub, having a light beer.
21 Grammys, superstar family. We the new Jacksons, so I'm about that action. I'm about the Farrakhan, life is a marathon.
Ball so hard, man, this shit crazy, nigga. He ain't getting money, that shit got 8 figures. But that Jesus peace, man, I been say, nigga, just talk to Farrakhan, that sensei, nigga.
History, mother of human history, system of social sorcery. Our present condition needs serious recognition. Where there's no repentance, there can be no remission. And that sentence more serious than Vietnam. The atom bomb in Saddam and Minister Farrakhan.
If I miss me, wondering who plotting to get me. Alphabet boys still plotting against me to hush me up and stuff me in the pockets of history. You won't remember why they came to clip me. When time go by, you soon forget me. They say he was the king of bling, jewels, and Bentleys. Then they use one of my lines just to prove I'm guilty. Don't let them kill me.
Have the power to stop Louis Farrakhan.
To hang on my hold the rope, but they hope to the Pope and pray it ain't dope. The follower of Farrakhan, he'll tell me that you understand until you hear the man.
That is in all 3 of my government names. Walk on water, non-neighbor to Jesus is the parable to make followers and readers believers from Egypt to Budapest. Rock him as the truest left. Understand the scriptures like the minister Louis F. I told
now I got niggas claiming they saw God. Unfortunately, he wasn't in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. So
Beautiful dream. On the farm, Farrakhan gave me my first Quran. To wear Yeezy concerts, Kim Instagrams. Niggas ain't know, they study my moves. I'm like Farrakhan in view of hundreds of Jews. 2 attempts on my life, they threaten venues.
I couldn't understand. I spent hours with Farrakhan just begging him to let me be the millionth man.
Heard they talking shit about who will win and why. I'm alive, just took one to revive. Keep that vibe when we show up and collide. Me and the guys move just like the FOI.
Survival. Let's ask some chapters named Mark, Malcolm, and Farrakhan.
You can call me Kobe. You all about these bitches. I'm all about this paper. Bumped into Farrakhan, told him assalamu alaikum.
Stand on these leaders. Run up a checking on glory. Farrakhan, me, I'm a leader.
the Nation of Islam returned with the new influence, and along with it, an emergence of a genre of music that will influence many artists, actors, actresses, musicians, and poets. The enemy knew that the influence of Islam was too strong on the East Coast, so another wicked plot began to brew in Washington.
That gangster rap is really a mirror of American society. They are young people being gangsters, playing gangster, but the real gangsters are in the White House with suits on that destabilize governments, murder leaders, gangsters in the State House, gangsters in City Hall, gangsters in corporate America. Only these young people are bringing it all out in the open. So before you curse the fruit, check the tree that produced it. And we'll be back.
The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan would wage a war against this crack epidemic, and he would influence many artists and actors to fight back with their words and power. He would spark a new kind of revolution, and this would take a turn that even the minister himself did not foresee and understood fully until a certain vision, like experience, gave him a clear perspective on this new war that would be fought.